Dudes and dudettes, welcome back. It is week 4 of 2018, and I wanted to give you a final thought on the squats that I forgot to mention last week when I was talking about the squats. These are the narrow stance squats that I'm doing this year, and something that I think about in my head when I'm doing them that helps me execute them in a way that I want to focus on my quadriceps is I think of them like a leg press. So for those of you who have been on a leg press machine, you know that when you bring the sled down, your thighs kind of get packed into your abdomen, and then you fire the sled away from you through your feet. So I'm actually thinking of the same thing here, where when I hit the bottom, I want to feel my thighs kind of pushing into my abdomen, and then I push my feet into the floor as hard as I can. That's kind of the cue that I use, and seems to be going pretty well so far. And you can barely see it on the side there, but that extra tiny plate pushes the weight up to 227.5 on the bench for Saturday workout, and also for my daily doubles. I think I'm going to be really happy when that tiny plate turns into like a 10, because that would be 245 for lots of reps, and definitely be pushing me towards my goal of a huge bench. Yeah. Something you guys may or may not have picked up on. The order that these exercises are being filmed is the actual order that they are being done in. And the point of that is that the OHP is appearing before the bench press. That actually started while I was away and was working out at a public gym, because I discovered that when I would do my squats and deadlifts and then go over to a bench press, I would often lose the squat rack I was using, because apparently squat racks are the perfect place to do bicep curls. Who knew? So once I got wise to the idiocy of the general public, I decided to just keep the squat rack I was using by switching my OHP and bench. And it actually seems to have worked out quite well, because it's almost like the extra warm-up of the shoulders seems to make the bench go better, perhaps. I would have thought that I would be tired out, but it hasn't been the case. And so perhaps you guys can try it in your own workouts. And speaking of the OHP, there we had our first signs of objective progress for this year, because that 112.5 is a new sets of 5 record for me, and I am pleased to be making good progress. Which brings up our next topic, which is, why did I select 2850 calories per day as my target food intake? Well, last I knew, my maintenance calorie intake was about 2700 calories per day. And what I want to do is gain weight and strength through the rest of this year, and thus I picked a small deficit of 150 calories per day as a starting point. This may have to go up as the year goes on. And basically what I want to see is slow, steady progress on both the scale for the body weight and also on the weights/volume of the workouts. And the other goal associated with this is to minimize, even though you can never truly eliminate it, but to minimize body fat gain. I don't know if you guys remember the last time I did a weight gain phase, I was eating something like 3,300 calories a day. Let me tell you, I got fat, real fat. Yeah. And speaking of progress on the weights, had another good Tuesday bench press workout. Got a little tip that I thought was helpful from another YouTube video, and that is simply to think of squeezing the bar really hard with just your pinky and ring fingers. This sounds odd, but what it does is it tends to keep your arms in the proper position for an excellent lockout, and it seemed to me that the bar was moving even faster than it had been previously, so check that out if you guys are interested. And speaking of good workouts, it's hump day! Oh yeah! And as usual, had another excellent workout on hump day here. Had 325 on the bar once again for low bar squats, and this has been going quite well, because some of the cueing techniques that I described earlier for my narrow stance squat, I'm also using on my low bar squat, and that is push the knees forward and then drive the feet into the floor when coming back up. Seems to be working quite well. And another good session of deadlifting. I think I could actually get that 330 for a set of 5, and believe it or not, that would be a new PR for me, because my current 5 rep PR of 320 was actually set on the way to a total of 7, and so I think I could knock out that 330 for 5 sometime soon as low-hanging fruit, just to get on that PR bandwagon for this year. And thus, another successful hump day in the books. Oh yeah. And as usual, just a couple highlights from Thursday's workout of my incline work, And reason I really like this exercise, I consider it a muscle building exercise as opposed to a movement training exercise. For example, as you guys know, when I'm flat benching, I'm pretty much trying to move as much weight as possible. Whereas on this exercise, you definitely get a much bigger range of motion and bigger stretch in the pecs. And I think that really helps with the muscle building. Yeah, so that's pretty much it for this week, guys. And the week 4 volume data screen, yeah, up 2,400 pounds from last week, which is excellent. And 160 total for the week is about what I need to average for the whole year. But as you guys know, I'm definitely going to have at least some weeks where volume is lower than average, so I need to try and get some weeks where volume is higher than average to average it out. That's how that works, right? Yeah. And 2018 goals update screen. Yeah, no injuries, thank goodness. And making some progress on the OHP up to 112 from 110 on my current best for my 5-rep sets. Bench should be following in a couple weeks. And 12K chin-ups, we're currently at 1276. And for the year, we're at 716,000 pounds. And last but not least, the diet data screen. Yeah, not much movement on the scale, which is exactly what we expected if you remember what I was talking about last week. So that is fine. With the calories, there's some slight estimation going on because there was a Super Bowl party this week, which means I basically just called it 800 calories for that, event, and just under 8. Everything else that I was counting by 800 calories. So looks like it worked because scales move in the right direction, weights go in the right direction. That's pretty much all you need. All right, peeps, I'll catch you next time. Bye.